up. Hang on, so just to recap, we're saying that the case says need to unwind, we get into bed and watch TV. How do you watch TV? Does anyone watch TV, I don't know, with the lights on or the lights off?
Lights on.
Interesting. Some on, some off?
In bed or in general?
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
Really lights off.
Lights off? Interesting. Alright. So, we're in bed watching TV. We're not in the dark though, are we? Because our eyes are open, because we're watching TV.
The screen's usually blue light, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, does someone else go to bed, turn the light off, and attempt to sleep by closing their eyes?
Yeah.
Hannah's like, no. How do you attempt to go to sleep, Emma?
I'm a person that
Oh.
takes like 2 to 3 hours to get to sleep.
Oh, well, you might benefit from this. Check this shit out. Alright, so if we're in bed watching TV, what's most likely going to happen then is our body and our brain is going to stay in like a kind of awake mode, whatever you want to call it. So if we're doing this, we might put like a feel or physiology kind of thing here, right? What we're going to have is stuff like alpha brainwaves. Yeah? And like alpha waves are what your brain's currently doing, like awake, alert. Yeah, I think that's correct, isn't it? And then beta is slightly relaxed kind of thing. Your heart rate is not going to be dropping. It's going to be about normal for awake time. I mean, you might get that way if you watch enough TV, but if you're watching a show that you really love, like House Hunters International, that's an exciting show. You know, it's going to get you cheated up. I don't know, does anyone else work on their laptop and bet they get a bit hot, find themselves getting a bit overheated? I find, so you might have like a heat thing going on here, right? Now, if we're in bed with the intention to unwind, but we're getting these kind of sensations, it might be tempting to go, well, I've watched an episode, have I unwound? No, I have not. So what do you logically do from there? Watch it on. So we then end up watching. So we might have like another thought thing. Still, I don't know what the, still wound? So I watch more. Watch more kind of TV, yeah? And then I can find ourselves in a bit of a cycle, yeah? And so now we're in bed watching TV, yeah? So we're sort of cycling background. So I might sort of draw like a little arrow back up to there. And then what the case tells us is that there's then a pairing of the activity to being in bed to being awake. So we might then say to our client, say to our person in this formulation, look, you know, by being in bed and watching TV and promoting these kind of things, we're kind of forming this little cycle. We're getting stuck here, right? We're now ironically in bed, not sleeping in bed, not sleeping in bed, not sleeping. So we stay in bed, we stay up some more. So we're not sleeping, so we stay up some more, etc., etc., right? Does that make sense? Do we get what we're driving to here?
Yeah.
Looking at it on the wall like this logically, what do we want to do? What screams to be done here?
Get out of bed.
All these things. Go watch the TV in the living room. Don't watch it in bed, right? So we say I need to unwind. Cool, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do this not in bed. I'm going to do this on the lounge. Yeah. And then I'm thinking all this stuff, but now I'm watching more TV on the lounge, and so this association stops. Just doesn't exist. It's fine. It's normal. Then when are we going to go to bed?
2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Oh no, like sometimes they could leave for that.
No, that could be fine, but I'm saying you do this, at some point you would eventually go to bed, right? But then you would go to bed just for the sake of sleeping. Yeah? So we would sort of do away with this pairing of the bed with being awake. Is that, I mean, that's a bit of a different one. It's not really avoidance or safety behaviours, it's just, well, I guess it could be, couldn't it? This could be a safety behaviour in that we think this is going to help us go to sleep, but ironically it doesn't. Do you want to try and do the second part of it now? So we've got a bit here, it says also about she has some panic attacks. Tends to do worse when she's tired or stressed out. Things are more threatening when she's tired, the effort required is a bit too hard, so she avoids going out when she's lacking sleep, which means she's not very tired the next night and done much. So we could perhaps draw up a whole different thing here. So someone kind of start me off with that half. Where would that start with? Or where might we start with that? If we were to draw it up and present it to a client.
Feel tired.
First panic attack.
I could start. Any of these things could be fine. Depends, I guess, on what part we want to look at. If we want to look at it in terms of why she's not going out during the day, or how she's dealing with the panic.
Tired.
Alright, so we might wake, right? Might wake, start with a situation like that, and we feel tired, yeah? So what does it tell us next?
She gets stressed when she's tired that she's gonna have a panic attack.
Alright, so maybe there's a thought there, like a panic attack is more likely because I'm tired. Yeah. And so how does that make her feel? What was the word you used?
Stressed.
Stress, something like that, yeah. So if we wake a bit tired, then we suddenly feel a bit stressed about it. And if we're feeling a bit stressed and other stuff, what are we likely to do? What does this person then do about it?
Doesn't matter.
Alright, so if we avoid, we stay home. And from there,
So then she gets less physical activity, so then she's less tired at night time.
right, so we might have like what would be the right word, like an environment or an outcome, perhaps a different box altogether. We just say there's no physical activity. Oh, I can't tell, sorry.
And it's just like, yeah.
And so when we come back to the next day, we're still tired again because we haven't done anything. Or perhaps we need to add a thing here about like, don't get a very good night's sleep. You know, try to, when we get bad sleep, we try to sleep but we get bad sleep. And so that kind of leads us back in. We wake the next day and now we're tired. So what's keeping this cycle going? How is this sort of being maintained?
Avoidance.
Yeah, avoidance. We're avoiding going out because we're afraid of the potential panic attack, which ironically means we don't do anything. So we might end up staying up late watching our 2 to 3 hours of stuff, right? Which means we end up being tired, which means we're stuck in a bit of a loop. Do we get kind of how we're trying to work with this? So there's something like this that you can do for each of these cases, and the idea is that for your assessment task, that's what we'll do. So what we'll do now, let's take the next 15, 20 minutes we have left. Let's have a look at a different one. Talk to the person next to you, pick out the one that you're interested in, you're stressed about, whatever. Start modelling it, start breaking it down, so we're ready to go once this thing comes around in week 12. Go. Okay, very good, very good.